It's processing. And Jackie, we're going live. Here we are.
So are we good? Are we in the Facebook group?
We are in the group, and 10 seconds have elapsed. We're on the way.
Okay, cool. So should we give it a couple seconds, or should we just go ahead and dive right into it?
Well, the one question I have for Andrew is the record button. Where is that, or is it recording automatically?
Looks like it's recording automatically.
Is it?
Yeah, it usually would be right up there. Right?
I thought so.
You sure?
Press that to go live.
I'm thinking a test.
All right. Here we are. We're live. We're going.
All righty. Let's go. All right. So what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us today. Today, Frank and I will be talking about Impact Sponsorship Program. We're going to be talking about whether it be filling out the application, to what we expect of you, to how many times you have to post a week. We're going to cover all the bases today, and we're excited, so stay tuned. So, Frank, without further ado, tell us about the first step to becoming a sponsored athlete.
I'll get to the first step, Jack, but I got to tell you, I'm really excited today for the most mundane reason. You have any idea why?
I have no idea.
Somebody came into the office to do an impression, and it's been months and months since somebody came into the office. So I was so happy to see somebody here and to do an impression for a lacrosse mouthguard.
That's incredible. We love to hear that. How was the conversation? Was it a little awkward? Was it a little weird talking to somebody in the office for the first time in 3 months?
It wasn't that awkward. It wasn't that weird. You know, before all this happened, we were getting 2, 3, 4 people walking in the office every day, whether it was for a night guard or a mouth guard. And it was always a great time. You know, that kind of interruption is always welcome. But today, it was like a special occasion. I wanted to take out a cake and just welcome these folks. And we've known them for a long time. Their kid has grown up in our mouth guards. And it was just fantastic to see somebody here and do an impression. So that's why I'm so stoked today.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love to hear that. The more the merrier, for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about sponsorships.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and what that means to Impact. Well, you know, the history of sponsored athletes in Impact is a pretty long one. And I must say, when we first started this business, I met a fellow named Adam Townsend, who was then just a rookie fighter, and we were a rookie mouthguard company. And I was so reluctant to give this guy a free mouthguard. I have to give away free mouthguards. That was kind of my attitude and approach at that time. But I'll tell you, when we did that with Adam, he was such a great ambassador and continues to be such a great ambassador of the Impact brand that it really launched our success in MMA, boxing, battle sports. So that reluctance is now turned into, at this point in time, like a full warm embrace of sponsored athletes. We love them as part of the company.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So what's the first step that one has to take in order to become a sponsored athlete, an Impact sponsored athlete?
Well, a lot of times it requires the athlete to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in being a sponsored athlete. And believe me, we get lots of requests that say something like, I fight sponsored. Right, that's simple and that inadequate. So we get lots of things like that. But then when somebody raises their hand and says, I am a fighter and I'm having some success, or I'm doing this, and here's what I could do for your company, those are the people that we take notice of, right? So we're not necessarily looking for that athlete that has a million wins or has some other success story. Although we are looking for a success story, we're more interested in the person that has an interesting story.
For sure.
Right.
And and I know as one of the people that are going through these applications and reading these applications, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, when I see the one liner, the one sentence say, hey, sponsor me, I'm a boxer, my record's 10-0. Yeah, that's awesome and everything. We love to hear that you're 10-0, but we want to hear what else you can do for us. We want to hear, most importantly, we want to hear what you can do for us. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to skip over those ones. But when we see maybe a paragraph, 2 paragraphs where they actually explain like about their last fight or a story, or they give that awe factor, they have that moment where we know that they're going to do a good job, and those are the ones that we get excited about for sure.
Right. And oftentimes our sponsored athletes have purchased our product and they love our product. And that love for our product is evident in the way they approach us for sponsorship, the way they approach the idea of sponsorship, and their desire and willingness to spread the word. And that's really all we're looking for. We're a small company, and we understand what it's like to be an athlete that just is just starting out. In our case, the overwhelming majority of our sponsorships are guards and gear. That's how we take care of athletes, make sure they're protected. And by and large, everybody's very happy with those relationships.
Yeah, so you mentioned that most of our sponsorships are just guards and gear, and I know we have three levels of our sponsorships. We'll go ahead and jump into that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and jump into what happens when you do become a sponsored athlete. When Impact decides that you've met the requirements, you are a sponsored athlete, what's next?
Okay, so the sponsored athlete, again, they raise their hand in some form or fashion and say, I'd like to be a sponsored athlete. Here's what we could do together. And once we've had some conversations, those conversations could be via email. They could be in person at a particular event that we're at. They could be on the phone. Once we've agreed that they're going to come on board, we send them just basically an email outlining what we're expecting. Now, I've always looked at this from that very first experience with Adam Townsend. It was a marvelous experience. We're often at risk first in that we're giving the free guards and gear to get started. And the expectation is that the recipient is going to follow up those guards and gear with posts, perhaps videos, spreading the word. Spreading the word, I'm going to turn this back to you in a second. Spreading the word doesn't necessarily have to be a post in social media, although, of course, we want that. But if we've got the big shot on a hockey team, and that big shot, the captain of the team is telling their co-players, their teammates about us, and those teammates are ordering, that's clearly what we want to have happen and a good value from a sponsored athlete. But let me ask you this, as our social media manager, what do you want to see in terms of social posts?
Yeah, so I mean, as a social media manager for Impact, I'm not expecting to see posts once a week. I'm not expecting to see a certain amount of posts. I'm expecting to see quality posts. So when I see a post, I want to see a high quality picture with you in your boxing gloves, or you and your hockey stick and the mouth guard in your mouth, smiling and excited and thrilled about Impact. We want, like we said earlier, we want you to be excited about Impact. And we want the highest quality photos possible. And with that, we would love to take those photos and move them over to our social media and post them onto our pages. And that's what helps us grow. And people love to see those.
Historically, we love nothing more than being able to promote the athletes that are promoting us.
Absolutely.
So, it's a give and take relationship. We want to know what events you've got coming up, what tournaments, what fights, and we want to get the word out about you just as much as we want you to get the word out about us.
Agreed,
so,
100%. Yeah.
You're right. You mentioned earlier, we kind of think of sponsorship in terms of 3 rounds. And round 1 is this beginning of the relationship where we start out providing an Impact branded mouth guard to our athletes and some gear, typically a t-shirt, perhaps a tape or something else.
Yeah.
Now, in exchange for that, we're usually looking for 3, 4, 5 posts, just depending on what makes sense, and that they are active in spreading the word about our brand. If that's the case, then we're building a relationship, and it's that relationship which gets us and the athlete to round 2.
Can you explain round 2 for us?
Yeah, round 2 is enhanced guards and gear. I like to think of it as. Now we'll customize a guard any way you want it as a sponsored athlete, and we'll get you better Impact gear and higher end stuff as the relationship grows.
Right.
And that's really round two. And so, it's very evident by the time we get to round two, the folks that are engaged and into it and going to continue to be. But that's really round 1 and 2 encompasses the overwhelming majority of our athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. And continuing on with the social media theme, I think that engaging with our post, reacting to what we post, commenting on our posts, liking our posts, sharing our posts are a big thing that we like to see. That gets us excited. Yeah. That gets us even more excited to work with you.
Right. Visibility is key.
And even more importantly, using our hashtag Play with Impact. That's something that we've just recently started, and we're really trying to start growing that hashtag.
Right. We get lots of people, lots of parents that have the next prodigy, and they're happy to tell us all about how the 8-year-old is going to be the next Muhammad Ali or whatever the case may be. And it very may well happen. But if they're takers and all they want is what we're going to give them rather than giving back, and you immediately know the difference. You see it right away because of their engagement. Like you said, they're curious. Okay, Jack, what's the hashtag you want us to use? They put that in. They're very attentive. The good partners are very attentive to what we need, and in turn, we're attentive to what they need.
Right, and in my opinion, I think one of the greatest things about Impact Sponsorship Program is you could be 7 or 77 years old. It really doesn't matter. We keep coming back to this recurring theme. As long as you care about impact, then we care about you. And one of the most memorable guys that we sponsor, Cavante, K-Dot, I can't remember his age. He's 12 or 13 or 14 now, but every event that we go to, every boxing event, he comes behind the booth. He stands with us for 10, 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, but he's a salesman for us. It's exciting. He loves the product. He gets so excited. He posts about us all the time. I think in every post he uses hashtag Impact Mouthguards. He tags us. It's super exciting. That's what we love to see out of a sponsored athlete.
Oh man, we love that kid. It's like having a celebrity in the booth.
Because he's the top ranked boxer, one of the top in his age range.
And weight, right? And you know what the best part is, though?
What's that?
He trains hockey too.
I forgot about that. That is true. Yeah, that's awesome. He's slowly starting to pick up hockey.
That's right.
Good for him. So we're excited to follow his journey.
Part of his training.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do too. We're excited to follow that part of his journey too now.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else can we tell them about the sponsorship program? What else are we forgetting here?
Well, round 3 in our case, which we have very few athletes in round 3, is a financial sponsorship. Now, what many folks who ask for sponsorships don't realize is Impact is a tiny company. And so we don't have big marketing budgets to be able to pay for things for the athletes. But with rare exception, we've got about 2 handfuls of athletes that we help with entry fees to events, that sort of thing. That's basically what we help with is entry fees to events. Those folks have really gone way above and been with us a long time and have become part of the Impact family, no question about it. So I think we're going to do more of that in the future as we grow, as our sponsorship program goes. But that's round 3 of our program.
Yeah. And now that you start talking about round 3, it makes me think of one of the guys that we have in that round 3, who's Jason Chang. And I think about one of the contests that we actually just ran. It was the hashtag Play with Impact. That was to kickstart our hashtag. But I remember he sent in a video, and it wasn't even with him and his Mouthguard, and this is what I want to touch on. But he sent a video of him and his daughter doing push-ups together. And it was incredible. I mean, that's awesome content. It's not with his Mouthguard or anything, but he's creating content for us. He's sending in content, and that's something that we love to see.
Jason's an example of a perfect partner because he's into it. He's engaged, and he's not the kind of guy that has his hand out, but rather he's doing some of the heavy lifting. He's wonderful.
Absolutely. What else can we share with them? We can talk about the blog. I mean, if you're looking to become a sponsored athlete, you could definitely check out our blog post. I think that's where we would recommend you going to first. The blog post is, I mean, it's a 2-minute read. It explains kind of what we look for. And then you just click the link on the bottom, and then you go to the landing page and you just fill out the information. And like we were talking about earlier, don't just write one line, write why you really deserve it.
Yeah, just a word on why we wrote that blog post was because we got so many crazy requests, which we've already covered, asking for sponsorship, but not really telling us anything about them and no compelling story. And so we wrote that blog post to help athletes understand what it is that we're looking for. And then it's expanded into this idea of the Impact Athletes Association group, which we have here, in that we have relationships with other companies which are in these spaces, right? We're a unique company in that we service many sports, not just boxing, not just hockey, not just football. We service all of them, any mouthguard wearing sport. And so we meet lots of other companies who also have sponsorship programs. So our goal in this group is to bring together athletes who want to be sponsored and companies who want to find athletes and get them working together.
Right. That's the main purpose of this group. And we just want to bring everyone together and help everyone out.
That's right. Yes. Somebody that I follow for business information, his tagline is serve the world unselfishly and profit.
Yeah.
Tagline.
That's very powerful. Yeah. I guess we could see if we have any comments from those who are watching, but as well, are we forgetting anything else within the group?
Yeah. Well, I'll say as we look at the comments, this video will be posted both in this group. It'll be posted on our YouTube page, and so anybody that might be watching. There will be links as we're able to provide down below to this Facebook group, to our blog post, as you mentioned earlier, and anything else that's relevant. So folks will just read the comments below or the notes below and get everything that they need to know about how to connect with us and how to connect with other companies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess just to recap the program real quick, like we said earlier, we're not looking for the next Muhammad Ali. That'd be awesome if we found him, but that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for someone who has 100 million followers. We're not looking for someone who's 10-0. We're not looking for the perfect person. We're looking for people that do have flaws that are 5-5, or we're looking for people that care and people that want to spread the good word of impact and people that get excited about the product.
Real athletes.
Real athletes, exactly.
Sometimes we refer to these folks as local celebrities or minor celebrities, or they're big in their gym or their community. Those are the people we want to be associated with because they're so genuine. Oftentimes, folks in the pro ranks want so much and want to give so little that we learned long ago that that's not the right place for us to be dancing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so let me, Andrew, any questions that we can answer?
Yeah, Krista Carr says she's glad we're hanging in there business-wise. And Jason Chang says, thank you, Frank and Jack and the Impact crew.
Well, Jason, you know how we feel about you. Krista, you've been with us a good, solid, long time as well. And we certainly appreciate you spreading the word. And I'm still thankful that we had a chance to get to meet a couple of years ago here in the office. And look forward to the next time we get together. So thank you, Krista.
That's it.
Yeah, well, light on the comments today. We're just getting started with our sponsorship live broadcasts, and we plan to keep doing it. So we're going to bring athletes and companies together. Jack, what do you have? Yeah,
I mean, I was just about to throw it back to you real quick, and you tell everyone who we're going to have next week.
Next week is the Phenom. She just fought this past weekend, 5 solid rounds against Amanda Nunes. Felicia Spencer is going to be joining us, and wow, we can't wait. That's next week. So the perspective we're taking there, Jack, as you know, is, okay, here's a sponsored athlete that has reached the highest ranks. And what does she look for in companies that she wants to work for? That's work with. That's important to know. And let's find out about her relationships and her experiences. It's going to be an interesting chat. Can't wait.
It's going to be a great chat. We're very excited. And next week's going to be a tad bit different. We're going to be going live with her on Wednesday on Instagram. And then we will be recording it and save it. And we will post it to this group at the normal time on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you do want to catch that live and maybe ask her a question or two here and there, we'll be going live Wednesday at 1 p.m. next week.
And we'll promote that, Jack? So
absolutely. We'll be promoting that probably starting tomorrow until Wednesday on all social media channels.
That's fantastic. All right, then.
Yeah, we're very excited.
We covered our sponsorship program. There's probably more to it, but if you're interested in becoming an Impact-sponsored athlete, follow one of the links below and raise your hand, and then either Jack or I or Andrew will be in touch with you, and we look forward to working with lots of athletes.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching today and watching.